afternoon, viewers of the Chico Army. My name is Tyler of Chico Crypto, and welcome to another episode of Crypto and a Cold One. Today's guest is Shastafarian Porter. I haven't featured a porter on my channel yet. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm a fan of light beers, but have been getting a lot of people recommending porters, so let's go for it. That's dark, chocolatey porter. So, I've gotten back to my good old roots and have uncovered some things about Neo I think few know. AntShares, the old name, was created in February of 2014 and eventually became the foundation of DNA. DNA is on-chain's response to the need from private companies. It literally took 22 months of extreme research and development to form the amazing consensus protocol of DBFT, or Delegated Byzantine Fault Tolerance. In early 2016, on-chain joined the Hyperledger and helped create the solution known as Fabric. What Fabric has learned that permissioned blockchains that require every peer to execute every transaction, maintain a ledger, and run consensus cannot scale very well. So an example is proof of work, and they cannot support truly private transactions and confidential contracts. Now let's do a little comparison of Fabric and DBFT consensus. Fabric does this by only sending the transaction to its peer, which will generate a result. An app looks up a company's identity from member services and then sends the transactions only to the peers of the transaction. In the case of just two peers, both peers will generate a result. The peers validate against each other and send the validated transaction to a consensus cloud for ordering, and then the order transactions are sent back to the peers and committed to the general ledger. In Neo's DBFT, it enables large-scale participation in consensus through proxy voting. Basically, consensus is trying to maintain just one version of the truth. DBFT is just a fancy name for getting eventual consensus under certain conditions. As long as less than 1/3 of the bookkeeper nodes are bad actors, you can get eventual consensus. De Hongfei and Eric Zane took ideas from some of the best computer scientists in the world at IBM and learned how to make a scalable, non-forkable, high-throughput public blockchain that effectively serve enterprise application needs far into the future. So let's go deeper and deeper, my friends. Now, the rumor of a Microsoft and Neo partnership has swirled since it was AntShares. This goes all the way back to June 2016, decades in crypto time. This is when Microsoft Azure and AntShares entered into cooperation. On-chain, which everyone knows is the private company behind Neo, on-chain and Microsoft partnered to initiate a consortium blockchain called the Legal Chain. From the on-chain website, the Legal Chain is a large-scale commercial legal evidence storage blockchain. It's the largest in the world. The National Judicial Expertise Center, as the node, provides the judicial expertise evidence issuance services. The Legal Chain is providing evidence storage backend for Fadada, which has a smart contract initiation transactions of 800,000 per second. Now, guess who was a partner that helped the on-chain team build the Legal Chain? You guessed right, Microsoft. Fadada and Microsoft initiated this consortium, as well as AntShares Neo. Now bring it all back around to Fabric, which we talked about earlier. So this is straight from the azure.microsoft.com website. The Microsoft Azure Services Fabric is to build and operate always-on, scalable, and distributed apps. Also, Service Fabric is Microsoft's container orchestrator that deploys across a cluster of machines. Now you may be asking yourself, what in the hell is a container? Well, listen up, my blockchain buds. This is very important. Containers are a way to wrap up an application into its own isolated box. They are resource-controlled and portable runtime environments which run on a host machine. Wait for it, or a virtual machine. Now, as Neo holders, we know about the Neo virtual machine. If you don't, the Neo VM executes the Neo smart contract code. And from the fucking Neo website, docs.neo.org, we see, and I quote, operating systems or programs that can simulate VMs such as VMware or Hyper-V. Now jumping back to the Microsoft webpage about containers documentation, we see that they are in tune with Hyper-V isolation, which is provided by Windows Server containers by running each container in a highly optimized virtual machine. Going down, we see all Windows containers on Windows 10 use Hyperledger V isolation. Now here is the kicker. Running a container with Hyper-V or another virtual machine is a runtime decision. Now as you read about containers, you will eventually learn about Dockers. You can think of Dockers as the vessels of which container images are packaged and delivered. This is an automated process, and it produces basically templates which can then be run anywhere on premise, in the cloud, or in a personal computer or on a cell phone, basically as a container. So a Docker will deploy identically across many environments in seconds. Well, looky what Tyler has uncovered after doing some digging, and guess what? Docker is a supported platform on the Neo network. This is straight from the Neo GitHub. Also, they have a full-on Docker file for connecting and deploying apps to the Neo blockchain. Check it out. So this is massive, friends, and the importance of it is misunderstood. So with containers, and especially if you have multiple ones, those containers can share the same container image or template, which means the containers start extremely quick and use fewer resources. This leads to distributed apps that can quickly scale. It's all about scalability. Here again from Microsoft's website. With containers, developers can build an app in any language. They can run anywhere without any code changes. Now we know Neo smart contracts and their virtual machine is programmable in multiple languages, and they plan to support all languages in the future. It all fits together like one big jigsaw puzzle. I feel like Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, uncovering the mail conspiracy. Carol, Carol! But I'm really glad I did the digging. Now, most of you know about the Neo DevCon. We will see Microsoft judge the network's potential and uses. This competition is being put on to basically show off to Microsoft how developers can deliver excellent apps with the support of the Neo blockchain and Microsoft's development and environment tools. So Microsoft and Neo are in cooperation, and they have been for a long time. This Neo DevCon is just going to be something that solidifies it. The fever for the dev competition is fierce, and as of December 8th, there were 250 individuals from more than 40 different countries. Can you say global phenomenon? Now looking at the Neo price and the effects it will have on it, hopefully none of my Neo holders sold out during the short-term Christmas bear market. Currently the price of Neo is 62.28 USD, 80.59 Australian dollar, and 52.50 euro. I'm still holding my prediction for Neo to pump to 100 USD by early next year, as the price will start to pump due to the hype behind this competition. The DevCon is at the end of January, and I foresee Neo hitting $150 before the competition. The publicity and developments of the conference will then pump Neo up to $175 USD, and then a correction will come after that. Neostradamus is in the house. Well, I thank you viewers for watching this episode of Crypto and a Cold One. Until next time, I'm going to finish this off. Cheers.